Sponsored by Pepsi.
Nobody does what Papa John's does.
Nobody does.
Cards win, you win. 45% off regular menu price online orders the day after the cards win. Use promo code CARDS45 at papajohns.com. Valid at participating locations.
Order now at papajohns.com.
Truman Talks Law on Great Day Live is sponsored by the Karl Truman Law Office.
Going into surgery can be disconcerting. While we rave about modern-day medical technology, mistakes happen. Attorney Karl Truman says there have been injuries reported from surgical robots. Good to see you, Karl.
Morning.
I was talking to a surgeon a couple of years ago, and he was telling me the amazing things they can do with robotic technology. And we were in London, in fact. He said, I could operate on you in the United States with the machine. So apparently this goes on, as I was noting in these notes here, hundreds of thousands of times we're talking about, and clearly sometimes things go awry.
Well, we all like to think about the latest and greatest technology, and technology can be a good thing, but sometimes the marketing doesn't always live up to the expectations, and that's one of the things that we're seeing in some of these procedures with the robotic surgery.
And there are some warnings coming out now that there was actually a warning issued by a manufacturer saying that there are injuries. The FDA has begun an investigation into the Vinci Robotic System. Tell me about that.
Right, that's what we're looking into is, and I want to clarify, we're not looking at the doctors or the hospitals doing the procedure. It's more of a manufacturing issue. Some of the equipment that they're using can develop microfractures. There's some training issues when the manufacturer is putting this out into the marketplace. And really, in some ways, it's just not ready.
Right, and we don't always know when some of this equipment's being used, I guess, because clearly you're out for surgery. So is this a case of you may not even know that this sort of thing was used?
Oh, you would have to have consent. Certainly, you'd have to have informed consent to know if they're going to be using the procedure, using this particular robotic equipment. So you would know about it ahead of time. But, we're seeing such a rise in injuries caused by the robotic procedure. It can be electrical burns, different type of injuries. Most of these surgeries are either gynecological in nature or, prosthetic surgeries. So, so that's what we're really looking at in some of these. And some of these can be, very life-threatening injuries.
We all know, though, when you have some surgical procedure, you sign a thick stack of papers, which pretty much, it always feels like you are waiving all of your rights to any sort of problem that could arise down the road.
Well, certainly, again, that opens up the discussion much more than we have time for today as far as what is informed consent. But because we're not looking at the doctor doing the procedure, again, we're looking at it from more of a products liability issue from the standpoint of the manufacturer. And that's a little bit different standard.
All right, the manufacturer did issue an urgent medical notification about dangers of injury during robotic surgery cases. So where do you take it from there? If they're saying there's a chance you could get hurt here.
Well, if someone feels that they have been injured as a result of the robotic surgery, we definitely want to talk to them and see if there may be something there that we need to take a closer look at.
And this could be an immediate repercussion or something that happens down the road, months after a surgery?
Well, it could be months, but generally you're going to know fairly quickly after a surgery like this if there is some serious complications.
But you're not telling people to not agree to robotic surgery.
Well, that's, of course, a decision you have to make on an individual basis with your doctor. But it's simply being aware, and people who have had this procedure and may have had complications that may want to look into it further.
All right. Appreciate your time today, Karl. You can reach Karl Truman at the Truman Law Office, 502-222-2222, online, trumanlaw.com.
Employee pricing to the public at the Kia stores. You pay what our employees pay, and you keep the rebate. Just $100
put it in any bag.
That's what this guy, surgeon, was telling me. He said, I could work on you anywhere in the world. Or like he said, if somebody's on